Well, it seems that all those legal boot people out there have found that's right, another loophole that they can use to remain in the country, and one which I'm guessing is going to pee quite a lot of people off, and it's no surprising. Let's just say that some recent immigration tribunal judgment has been quite the eye-opener. And see, it turns out that some elderly migrants are managing to stay in the UK because they're winning asylum cases by arguing that as pensioners, they should spend their twilight years in Britain. And while there's no official data on these claims, a Home Office insider spilled the beans to the Telegraph, saying that older folks are the next big wave of asylum seekers, and it just makes me wonder if they're then allowed to stay here, how much of their families will they then be allowed to bring over and stay here as well because of their human rights or whatever they want to say. And surely this is another reason why we should leave the ECHR as soon as possible. I mean, take this one case, for example, a 61-year-old woman. Now, obviously, 61 by today's standards isn't exactly old, in my opinion. It's not like little old ladies used to see back in the day. I mean, for instance, from what I've heard, Elizabeth Hurley is now 60, and yeah, I wouldn't mind. Anyway, this woman apparently had a bit of a run-in with the law for identity fraud and got the green light to stay because she was deemed too old to be deported. Then there was an 87-year-old Syrian widower who was allowed to join his son in the UK because the care he needed wasn't available back home, where care homes aren't really apparently a thing. You'd think, wouldn't you, though, that something like that, when he is in that other country, or presumably in that other country, wouldn't that be for that country's government to sort out? And I don't mean to sound harsh here, but at the end of the day, we are not a charity case, are we? And it's our taxpayers' money going towards housing all these illegal boat people. Another story that apparently involves a 71-year-old Pakistani man, Mohammed Lelis Butt, I hope I pronounced that right. He was granted permission to stay after the court heard he was, wait for this, lonely and isolated. He needed his son's support apparently, and he got on the whole list for health issues, including heart disease and depression. Initially, the Home Office said he could get treatment in Pakistan, but then he appealed, showing evidence that he couldn't actually get the care he needed there. You know, don't get me wrong. If these people want to live here, then surely they should be going through the legal routes. They shouldn't be coming on a boat and expecting to stay, because that's arriving illegally. They should get the points they need, they should pass any criminal records checks and then apply, not just expect us to give them who knows what when they turn up on a boat. It's just not right, in my opinion. The upper tribunal judge Elizabeth Ruddock noted that Mr. Butt had no close family left in Pakistan after his wife passed away, and in 2016 his children moved away as well. A senior clinical psychologist who visited him 4 times linked his decline in mental health to the loss of his wife and children's emigration. A psychologist reports highlighted Mr. Butt's strong emotional ties with his children and how being around them improved his mental and physical health. Well, great, hopefully they could go perhaps live out there with him, especially if they have also arrived here illegally. It just seems, doesn't it, that there's always some sort of excuse or something to pull the heartstrings to make us feel like horrible people to say no. At the end of the day, though, if they arrived here illegally, then they should not be here, in my opinion. These cases are happening against a backdrop of a record 111,000 asylum applications by June this year, with a big jump in appeals from those whose claims were initially turned down, and appeals have more than doubled in just over a year, now topping 50,000. But apparently, not every case gets the nod, although it seems that that isn't the case, but apparently it isn't. An Argentinian grandmother, Maria Martella, hope I pronounced that right, wanted to move to the UK to live with her daughter, a British citizen, and she has said she couldn't actually afford the treatment for her health issues in Argentina. However, Judge Anna Rose Laws turned down her appeal, saying that other relatives could look after her. Meanwhile, Home Secretary Shabuma Mahmood is gearing up to introduce a new asylum crackdown later on this month, and I don't know about you, but I think that is way overdue. These measures apparently are expected to make it harder for migrants to use the ECHR to appeal against being removed from the UK on grounds of a family life or risk persecution back home. I think we should still leave the ECHR because I'm betting, and admittedly I could be wrong, but I'm betting all the lefty lawyers out there will still find a massive loophole that we haven't exactly thought about. And who knows how long then it would take to close that potential loophole, eh?